Oh, you caught me at a beautiful time. I'm so blissed out. I'm so blissed out. I just did a very beautiful transmission for my patrons for protection and shielding from projections from other people as they try to sort through the time we are part of and the astrological energies that may be affecting them that they don't know how to process, and then trying to project it onto others. And it was really beautiful that my guides came in so strongly to offer a transmission to encode within our energetic frequency of just being divinely guided and shielded, which reminds me of a song that my partner is working on. But I wanted to come on here and express, and this is a call to all of my light workers, all of my star seeds, all of my shadow workers, all of my empaths, all of my healers. Please, please, please protect your energy. Do not forget to serve yourself. Do not forget to nurture yourself. Do not forget to bathe yourself in light and love as much as you do for others. I know firsthand that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and it's something that I continue to work on every day. And I feel that most of the time Spirit guides us towards offering services to others that we also genuinely, deeply understand the value and importance of. And so if you are feeling called as my empaths, healers, shadow workers, light workers, those star seeds, us, the 144,000 who are here, who are down here to do a work, who are working with Spirit, who are working with our own shadow, who are working with our family members, who are working to break karmic patterns and generational curses, and really holding a staff and stopping the repeations, I don't think that's a word, the repeatings, stopping the repeatings of patterns and really anchoring in a new dawning of the age of Aquarius. If you are one of those people, you are one of those people, and I trust that you are in clicking on this. Please, 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 please protect your energy. Love yourself, nurture yourself. Please do not forget that you can also heal the healer, and that it is one of the most valuable things that we can do. And it's something, like I said, I'm deeply, deeply learning. Spirit called me on here to talk about this a little bit, and I don't necessarily know in which way they want me to navigate through it. But I personally have been getting called, and I've known this for some time, but I feel like Spirit is allowing me to see more of how it is coming together. I have been called by Spirit to create a place for the lost and the found, a light in the dark. And so, in the lost and the found, there are those of you here who I know personally, because I do it, offering, so ready to just pour into your practice, pour into your service, pour into what you feel called here to do. Thank you, Buggy, for the confirmation. Feeling called to do a work here, and then noticing that you get burnt out, noticing that sometimes you feel like you're about to lose your mind. You're like, how am I about to lose my mind if I'm doing all this spiritual work? It's because sometimes we aren't hermiting, we aren't sitting alone, we aren't... Ooh, there's a bird. Let me see if I can tell you what bird it is. We aren't sitting alone with self. We aren't sitting and processing everything that we're helping others integrate. I think it's a hawk on the ground. Just sorry, like, it is a hawk. Oh my gosh. So yeah, hawk medicine coming in. Please look into that, my healers. That we don't necessarily take that time to hermit and to go within and to nurture ourselves and to sit and integrate everything we're processing, and sometimes, like I said, it's not because we're intentionally doing it. We're just pour, work, and I am a Capricorn rising, so I'm right there with you. But Spirit has really called me, as they've called me, to stop working for others and to start creating my own services, the own ways in which I offer my healings to the collective. As I've been called to do that, I've been wondering, how is it going to form, and what am I going to do? And I have created, oh, more birds. I have created a Patreon. I have created a place and space that I didn't necessarily understand what I would be doing with it yet, because they've asked me a lot to shift a lot of what I offer in my Patreon. It used to be one thing, and I was holding on to that, and that was my plan, and Spirit asked me to surrender and let go. It's still in the grasses. I don't know if you can hear that. It asked me to let go And I surrendered, and in surrendering and letting go, I was able to see more of what they wanted me to truly do. And what I just did before I pressed record on this video was I sat with them, and they asked me to do a transmission with Uranus and Mars recently having gone conjunct with one another. A lot of the energies that people will be experiencing, especially on a Mars day, they wouldn't necessarily understand what they're dealing with and working with. And when someone doesn't want to deal with something that they're holding, they try and put it on to others. And what more better of an energy or frequency than someone who's a receptive container to transmute energies for others. And so I've learned first and foremost how important it is to protect your energy, to create a protective egg around yourself every day, to root your grounding core, to put up roses in each of the corners and directions of your body. This is from my Pleiadian workbook that I got, that was gifted to me, that was sent by Spirit, and it's become one of the most important parts of my spiritual hygiene. And so I guess, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what they want me to say, but essentially in learning that, I have also been guided by Spirit that through the Patreon I would be offering light language transmissions, light language songs and activations. And I don't know if I had it written down, because I have like a little transmissions, downloads, activations book, and I was sitting with them and they were trying to explain to me what it was that I was like, well, what am I doing? What am I doing with these transmissions? And so through the Patreon, what I'm offering is for any light worker, empath, starseed healer, or anyone who feels called to specifically receive transmissions that my guides know exactly who they're like working with, because we'll be connecting more in a divine space and container. They'll know which encodings and transmissions to send you, because I said, when doing light language, I'm not, they said the activation comes within the transmission. And so through the Patreon, they have been calling me to send light language transmissions for activating, for cellular upgrades, and DNA and frequency shifts is what I got from them. And I was like, okay, DNA frequency shifts. And so as the frequency is shifting, us as like those ones standing at the forefront of this dawning of the age of Aquarius, we have to continually upgrade our container and continually refresh it and renew it. And there's no coincidence that they called me to get certified as a Reiki healer, so that I could also impart Reiki universal source, all that has ever occurred in light and love energy through the transmission as well, so that we could really continue to refresh and clear out our container, so that we're divinely aligned and open to receive at all times. And so that's what okay, I get it now. So if you are one of the people, and I trust that you are, I know that you are, if you're clicking on this, you're offering your services to other, but you would also like for your own container to be serviced, your own container. And I don't know why, but I just got like the image of a car wash. Like my Patreon's like a little car wash, and you can come through and receive your cleansing, your encodings, your DNA and frequency. I have to like leave it out until I really cement what they told me. So let's cement it together right now. Activations, if you want to come and receive some new activations, if you want to come and receive some cellular upgrades, if you want to come and receive some DNA and frequency shifts, then through the Patreon is where I'll be offering those encodings and those transmissions, because they've already been telling me, and like I guess it's, one of those things that you just like, okay, that's thank you for the truth. Offering it to the 144,000, offering it to all of you here, and I know you know, and if you don't know, now you know, those of us who have been sent here to elevate the frequency, to shift collective consciousness, to raise the vibration. And the best way in which for us to be able to continue to facilitate doing that, and I know first and foremost, is from healing ourselves and cleansing ourselves and realigning within ourselves. The more work that we do, the more clearings that we do for Gaia, for the collective, for shadow, all of those energies, I can be the place, and I am the place in the Patreon that you can come to, and you can receive these transmissions. And what I really love and am grateful for from Spirit about how they've shifted and aligned this is that it's not just me now doing like new moon and full moon Reiki and transmissions, which I was originally called to just do new and full moon Reiki. Now I understand why they were asking me to surrender, because in reality, now it's allowing my palace of Persephone to be a place for the lost and the found, to be a light in the dark. And through entering into the palace with me, receiving some beautiful codes, and like, if you've watched any, if you're new, then that's okay. There are plenty of videos for you to understand some of the things that I've been going through recently. But if you're returning, then you already know I've been getting a lot of information from which guides I'm working most closely with and most deeply with. And Gaia is first and foremost the being who was called and asked me. And obviously, oh, butterfly! And obviously Persephone, like, hello, Gaia is going to be first and foremost. But the archangels came in second. And the transmission I just did from the archangels for the protection was so powerful and so activating to my throat chakra, and really like emotional for me, was a really strong sign to me that I shouldn't just be sharing it within the Patreon and not at least letting people know that that's what's occurring. And so connecting with Gaia, I connect with the archangels, most specifically Metatron, Michael, and Seraphiel, or Seraphiel, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it just yet. I connect with Ascended Master Jesus Christ, just in case you're like me and you want to know some of the people that I work more directly with. The Arcturians, like largest connection with them as far as like my galactic ancestors go. The Lemurians, my Pleiadian sisters Electra and Merope, they said hello to me in the sky the other night, and I thought I was going to like, oh, 1111. I thought I was going to cry. I basically did internally. And then after that, it's Goddess Isis, Ra, and Lakshmi. And calling to all of them and working with all of them, I truly do sit and surrender and just ask which one wants to come through, which one would like to do this transmission. And for the most part, it's mostly Gaia, the archangels, and the Arcturians. A little bit of Ascended Master Jesus Christ. His energy just kind of radiates out as Christ cosmic consciousness. But yeah, I guess they wanted me to kind of just talk about the services that I offer, because they're like, girl, how are you gonna like help anybody if you don't tell anybody what you're doing? So this is me telling you what I offer, and this is something that I'm doing in the Patreon because I want to be able to create a space where I can actually intimately get to know the beings that I'm connecting with and working with, and truly create like a conscious relationship and understand like, oh, they're going through this and I can encourage them in that, and just creating that little container, that palace, that temple of healing. And I think in creating that container, it's going to be so much more sacred and sanctified than trying to do it through YouTube, which is kind of like the overarching way in which I know I'll find my little star sisters and brothers, my little Arcturians and Pleiadians and Lemurians, and my little angels on earth, and my Gaia lovers and my fairies. I know that this is where I will find most of them, and some of them will just receive the gifts through YouTube, and that's okay. But I know there are others who will feel called to receive the transmissions and to receive the codes and to receive the activations. And so I guess, yeah, I got to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's what's happening over on the Patreon. And it's something that they've asked me, and I'm continuing. Ooh, lots of ants, lots of movement, lots of work incoming. That's what they've really been asking me to step forward into and move into. And so I, like I said, had full surrender, full faith, and full trust that in the work that I'm doing, I am helping to continue to create that ripple effect that I desire to create by sending my light and love out to others, and then them receiving it in kind, and then they ripple it out. And imagine the power of that. Imagine the power of that. I know it's powerful. So I'm at 1331. I'm just seeing, like, I've been seeing a lot of numbers as I'm recording, and so I've just been taking them internally, but I guess, we can celebrate them together. So yeah, I know you guys are out there. I know you're doing your good work, and you're staying intentional, you're creating healthy routines, you're creating healthy boundaries, you're learning to trust yourself and to trust your gifts and to trust spirit and to trust that you can surrender and just fall perfectly into what you've been called here to do, and you will be supported. And I am one of those beings that is happy to support you. So please feel free to come to the Files of Persephone and receive some Reiki, receive some light codes, to receive just a beautiful little space and place for us to congregate, to receive and encourage one another, to really form a bond, form a beautiful little bond. So thank you, Spirit, for that. That was so, like I said, it was kind of random, and they told me, they're like, you need to talk. So that's what I did, and I listened. Like I said, I'm still flowing through that. So I trust that whenever you find this, if you do resonate, I will be speaking with you and interacting and communicating more deeply with you in the near future. So thank you so much for sitting in this space and this energy with me. It feels really good, and I'm really grateful, and I'm really excited. And there are services that I do offer outside of just the Patreon. So if you feel called, I also offer tarot and oracle readings and life path guidance that's listed in my link tree in the description box. That's also something that they've had me shift and change around. And honestly, like, I'm so grateful for Spirit and for Gaia and for my guides, because I had my own plan of like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to offer this and then I'm going to do that. And one of my friends said, make a plan and watch God laugh. And I never forgot that, because I'm a Capricorn rising. So, you know me and my plans. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. And Spirit has been creating an even better plan than I could have created for myself. Spirit has been setting me up to do greater things than I thought I could do. And now I'm sitting in the knowing that I can do them, and then I'm prepared to do them, and I have everything that I need to do it. So let's do it. So I'm excited. It feels good. I'm just kind of sitting in this energy. I'll send some your way. So yeah, if you want to connect with me, you can do the link tree, or you can check out my Patreon and see. I trust a lot of you will be feeling called and feeling ready to come into the car wash. I mean, it does feel like that after I'm done. I just feel like after I've gotten out of a shower, like it just feels so good. But yeah, and also in the future, my partner and I plan to be traveling a lot this year, doing a little van life and doing some sound healing sessions along the road. So I trust that if you are feeling called to like meet in the flesh, you can let me know where you live once we get on the road, and I can actually see you and like hug you and embrace you and send you love. Because first of all, thank you. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for the light that you are holding down here. Thank you for continuing to hold it amidst darkness. Thank you for continuing to hold it amidst the darkness. That does not go unnoticed. That does not go unfelt by me. That does not go, when I see it and I know it and I feel it. So thank you. Thank you. So even if I just trust this will just, if anything, be a message of encouragement for you, a message of like anything you needed to hear today, any kind of like inner unalignment that you felt, that this is helping to recenter you into that knowing. If this is the sign you needed, then here it is. So yeah, thanks for hanging out and talking with me. This felt really good. And like I said, I'm just so grateful for Gaia, and so grateful to be able to go out and just sit, 1717, to go sit in the grass and sit in the sky and receive everything and just feel so good and yummy. And I'm so grateful and excited for all the transmissions that want to come through me, and the songs that'll be coming through, and so just how it's all going to grow and just echoing our light out. And if anything, I feel so excited I feel so excited to be able to send light and love and healing to the healers. That just feels like even better to me. It's like, oh, keep going. And just like, I don't know, it feels really good to like sit in. And I haven't really necessarily sat in it yet. And so it feels good to really sit in. And I'm very grateful. So, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. I trust you will stay open to the signs and the synchronicities that await you throughout the remainder of your day or night, wherever you are in your now moment. So thanks for sitting in some good energy with me, for being open to the blessings that are to come, be open to the future, be open to everything that occurs within this now moment. Thank you. And until I see you again, or until I meet you on my Patreon, I am, as always, sending you peace, love, peace and love, peace and aloha. Ana waikia la ataisi kikia wa osokoa ana itia la okoso kikia tata itia sokoso ana ala ikia ta atasasikia la usokoa ana itia osokuko ana ala ikia sa aikia no osoko wasasia ala ikia sokoa ana ikia kokoso ala ikia sa usokoa.